right, what's up, everyone? Kevin Allen here, aka the Geek from DFS Army, and Daily Draft is back. We're drafting best ball teams all throughout the offseason here on the DFS Army YouTube channel. Glad to have everybody here with me, breaking another one down, and we're going to be drafting another team. So some interesting, I guess, updates before we get into the draft today. We're going to go right into it, but I've been adjusting, of course, my rankings regularly, even as we do these drafts. I've been finding that, you know, when you're on the clock and you're forced to make decisions, that's when the true, you know, feels comes out. There are some like player ranking updates that I kind of want to share. Hey, what's going on? What's up, Soups? What's up, Tim F? Good to have you guys with me live again. Maybe we'll draft against one another. Who knows? But a couple little updates. One of the big ones. So I've been adjusting my projection models, adjusting the rankings in real time, and a couple, you know, there's little bits and pieces that are coming out here that are causing effects and changes. One of the big ones for me, you know, a big riser right now is Trevion Henderson, the rookie running back for the Patriots. Kind of moving up a little bit right now. There's a lot of enthusiasm about his role with the team, kind of being a 3-down back, a really good blocker, going to be out on the field a lot. So I think there's a lot of, you know, in dynasty drafts, he's moving up really, certainly ahead of Judkins at this point, and into this tier of sort of secondary elite running back. So, I mean, that'll be reflected, I think, in the ADPs as we go forward. So just really interesting. Another update I have for you guys is that Underdog is back in New York State. So I'm going to be able to start mixing in some Underdog drafts. We have Fantasy Fling, a specialist in Underdog. Specifically, he has studied the format of a really cool contest on Underdog called the weekly draft, where instead of being a full year, it's like every single week there's a winner of a big prize. And so your team basically like restarts every week. I'm not sure how it works. We're going to get Fling in here to explain how that works and some strategies for drafting for that. All right. So let's get into it again. Last time I showed you guys how to update rankings using my ranking sheet, and I'm going to do another update. So check it out. I'm going to show you how to do it here. Here I am on the DFS Army YouTube channel. Or no, the DFS Army website under Best Ball Rankings, right? And I'm going to go to DraftKings. I'm going to do download for DraftKings upload. And I'm going to go back to DraftKings here. I'm going to upload this, upload CSV. We're going to use that. And just like that, save it. And this is, you know, my new rankings, my latest rankings uploaded right here on DraftKings. So it's ready to go. As we're drafting, we're going to be watching and seeing, and you can see the ranking against my, you know, rank versus ADP and all that stuff. So we can start to see, hey, Kev, where'd you go wrong? Who do you like a lot more than other people? What went right? What went wrong? So we've got a lot of that going on here. We're going to jump right into this draft here. Let's go back to the tournament page. And we're continuing the play action here. So I guess we'll get a bunch of play actions done. At some point, I'm going to swap over to do some underdogs as well. So stick with me for all of these. There's some other sites that are doing best ball as well, but Underdog really excites me, that weekly winners format. So I'm excited to attack it, but I really want to wait for Fling to come on with me to really explain the research. He's kind of looked at how that worked and what won in the past, and he's going to give us some strategy tips for that. So we are entered into this one. We're just kind of waiting right now. A couple of fantasy football headlines. I saw something really cool. I saw CeeDee Lamb hanging out with George Pickens, talking about we're both 1As and this and that. I love the camaraderie I saw, and I'm starting to get excited about George Pickens in that Dallas offense. So, you know, he might be moving up the rankings for me. I'm going to give you another big mover for me. I had some thoughts, guys. I had some thoughts about a player. Chris Godwin. Godwin, people don't remember this. For the first 6 or 7 games of the 2024 season, before Godwin got hurt, he was winning people leagues. He was smashing, putting up 8 to 12, getting 8 to 12 targets per game in that awesome Tampa offense. And he was absolutely somebody that was going to lead people to championship glory. Like, he was the reason why a lot of teams were in first place in season long, because you were getting him late, and he was such a force to be reckoned with. He was producing like a WR1, but you kind of got him in WR2/WR3 territory. And I started thinking about it. He's still in that zone. His current ADP, so I moved him up quite a bit, so you'll see. Let's take a look at if this worked. All right. Yeah, I've got Chris Godwin here ranked all the way up to 46th overall, which is a massive above the field ranking for Chris Godwin. Does this mean we have to take him right there? No. But what it means is when Godwin is starting to show up in our ADP first, pay attention. Let's grab him at some point. I think Chris Godwin. Now, what are the negatives for Godwin, right? What are the concerns? Look how slow this thing's filling. You guys want to jump in? This thing's filling slow. Maybe it's filling slow because underdog's back to New York, so all the New Yorkers are no longer drafting on DraftKings. Are we going to have to switch it over for the show? Can we not fill a tournament in the amount of time that it starts on a stream? Let's see what happens here. We're going to do a lot of talking. But where was I? Yeah, Chris Godwin, for me, moving up the rankings massively. Let's go. If I'll find where it is and compare him to. Yeah, I've got him at this point almost 20 spots above current ADP. I stand by it. I stand by it because Godwin was like a league winner last year. Let me see if I can click on him. Let me go to edit rankings again, as this is not really changing too quickly. So we're gonna take a look at Godwin versus his ADP. His ADP is at 65. Now I want to show you what Godwin did in the first half of the season last year, and just understand he was averaging 20.5 fantasy points per game, which is effectively the same as that. He would have been WR2. He would have been WR2. Let me show you something. He was 20.5 fantasy points per game. Chase, I think, was at 25, right? WR1 all day. CeeDee Lamb, 18.2 for the season. Malik, 18.8 for the season. Justin, 19, right? Amon-Ra, 19.7. 18.9. All these guys are kind of the same last year. 19, right? And yet, where's T? Yeah, 19 also. T was a GOAT. So T Higgins, another really good value. But go all the way down to Godwin, and I get it. He didn't play a full season, and he did have this one outlier crazy game. So whatever. But Chris Godwin gave you 3. If you had him, you won your league guaranteed games out of 7. And the other games were pretty good. A 17, a 13. All right, only got me 11, only got me 13. Still pretty good. So my primary concern with Godwin is, will he be fully healthy in returning from the injury? He's had pretty much what I would say is enough time to heal from an ACL tear, but sometimes these guys come back and they're just a little bit off, and sometimes they're not. So that for me is basically it for Godwin. Let's jump over to my rankings again as we wait to see if this contest will even fill. If it doesn't, oh no, we're getting there. All right, we're getting there. So we'll jump back over to my rankings again. And when you look at the rankings here, I have the current DraftKings ADP. I have my ranking and the difference. So we could kind of take a look at some of the names that I've got different from the field. Right, starting with Jefferson, who I'm a little lower on the field. We talked about that last time. Jefferson with a new QB this season as McCarthy takes the helm for the Vikings. Realistically, no one knows if McCarthy is good. Add on increased competition this season from Addison and Hawkinson, and it's a recipe for a little bit of concern. A little bit. Just enough to say, why take him ahead of some of these other super studs where I don't have issues? Oh, here we go. All right, we're starting up in a second here, so we'll continue to talk about some of these discrepancies between my rankings and the main rankings as we go on through this draft. See some of these light blues. I'm well ahead of Chase Brown than the field, Garrett Wilson, some of these other ones. Let's see where we are. All right, I am starting. Are there soups? You're in there. All right. All right. And I'm picking 11. Okay. All right. I'll deal with that. I'll be, yeah. Any other DFS Army in here? No more DFS Army in here. All right, it's just you and me, Soups, maybe. All right, and we're about to start. I'm picking 10th, so usually from that 10 spot, I'm looking for like if any value falls. Certainly if any of my ADP value guys fall. So we'll see what happens there. Hopefully we can get Janty or I don't know, any one of these names. All right. Scrolling down a little bit though, as we continue to talk through the rankings, I've already told you guys I'm not touching AJ Brown this year I have strong reasoning, and his ADP is way too high for a team that doesn't throw the ball very much. I've got him all the way down at 32. His current ADP is 20. So clearly I'm way below the field on him, right? Names that I'm higher on, Garrett Wilson. Jets are talking about just Garrett Wilson being this prime target. I believe it. I'll take him ahead of ADP. T. Higgins I like a little bit ahead of ADP too, and you see why. He averaged 19.1 fantasy points per game, which was just as good as anybody last year. Not named Chase Brown. All right, draft is about to start. Here we go. Of course, Barkley goes first overall as usual, and we will see Jamar Chase go second. A little decision here, maybe Bijan, maybe CD. Oh, Jefferson gets taken a little early. He's making his stand. Malik Neighbors goes early. There we go. People, hey, these guys aren't doing chalk right now. They are doing it different. So good on them, I guess, right? What a weird situation. Bijan and CD Lamb fall. Hey, maybe I'm going to get Jahmyr Gibbs. Who knows by the time this gets to me? Who knows who's going to fall? But a weird start to this one. Doesn't help really anybody because by the time it gets to my pick, all of that will have evened out. We're going to have some interesting choices at pick 10 and 11. We'll probably be looking at Amon-Ra, McCaffrey, Puka. Maybe on the way back, Derrick Henry, something like that. So Brian Thomas Jr., I'm a little bit below the field on him. Not for any great reason. Jacksonville looks really good this year, so I don't have any problem with B-Rob. I might change my mind on that, but what a steal on Lamb here and Gibbs late. Soup's great. I mean, it's a steal on Gibbs, in my opinion, getting him there, or it's an unusual start. So your lineup will be different than most. We're on Derrick Henry gets taken a little too soon. Amon-Ra, and so now we get a decision point. Nico Collins, McCaffrey, Puka, HN. I'm going to go with my rankings here and just stick with it and stick with Nico. I don't have a problem here, though, with McCaffrey or Puka at all. Both those guys are great. No worries. All good. Saul Goodman right there. With the start of Nico, again, so what I'm doing right now is I'm keeping in mind, okay, I've got Nico on my team. Maybe CJ Stroud later on, so maybe we'll build a little something around a Stroud, Collins, Higgins stack as the draft rolls on. So it's just something I'm going to be keeping in mind as this draft rolls on to see kind of how we want to go. Double tap Puka and McConkey, aka McConkey, at the end there. And I'm going to take CM Sizzles here. I don't have a lot of McCaffrey shares, but McCaffrey, I talked about him. He's a 25 points per game guy. He has absolute potential to be the highest scorer in fantasy football if he stays healthy. Of course, health is a risk, but we're playing best ball. If it doesn't work out, it doesn't work out. I'm trying to win a tournament here. I'm not here trying to, make the playoffs and be in the top 6 of a 12-man league. So it's either you do it or you don't. You go for it. Balls to the wall. What's up, Ray? Ray Zanni's in here. Ray, we got Underdog in New York now. So next time I have you on the show, we're going to be drafting Underdog, your speciality. You take me through your special. Underdog winner right there. Yeah, here to win the whole fucking thing. That's right. Every lineup. So you take Christian McCaffrey, even if you're nervous about McCaffrey in redraft leagues, that's cool. All right, I get it. There goes AJ Brown. Again, as you guys know, not a fan of him right there. I think AJ Brown, that's way too soon for him. Didn't do enough last year to justify it, averaging 16 fantasy points per game last season. Nothing's changed. This is what he's going to do. He doesn't belong in the elite tier. It's all name recognition. Look at Chase Brown, guys, moving up. I'm 30 spots ahead of or 10 spots above ADP on Brown, and I have his ADP. I pick him right there. Either Ivan Drago, you're in. Man, I know you, Ivan Drago. DFS Army coach Ivan Drago's in here with us. What's up, bro? No wonder. I'm like, man, that's a little ahead on Chase Brown, where I've normally seen. I think that's him. Ivan, is that you? Speak up in the chat, bro, if you're in here. It could be. We have an Ivan Drago coach. All right, so Josh Allen, Chase Brown, Kyren Williams, all. So let me just with the running back group, tiers, right? We talk about tiers. You have your elite tier, Barkley, tier of his own, right? Second tier for me, Janty, Bijan, Gibbs, Henry, McCaffrey, HN, Taylor. These are all, you're really happy to anchor your team around these guys. Then your third team, still RB1, still going to get all the touches for their team. That's your Josh Jacobs. Oh, yeah. All right. That's what's up. I thought, what's up, man? Good to have you in here. But that third tier where you're happy to anchor your team around him, that's Jacobs, Brown, Kyren Williams, Bucky in that sort of still an RB1 group. I'd put, that kind of takes it to the end of that group for me. And then we have that next tier here that starts with Cook, Omarion, Mixon, Breece Hall. I have RJ Harvey in that third level tier with Hubbard and, Kamara kind of rounding it out. And then we drop to the RB2 tier. I'm going to do some Ivan Drago routines here. All right, we're up next. Let's remind myself. I got McCaffrey, Nico Collins. The board is looking pretty thick here. Plenty of possibilities. James Cook, who I like a lot, touchdown machine last season. Might see some regression. Rashee Rice. We've got some reaches we can do, but I'm going to stick with my draft board here and just go with Jimmy Cook. We're going to have to take another pick here in a couple seconds. I'm not big on loading up QBs early. Personally, I like to cobble together quarterbacks later in the draft when the position players are less studly, for whatever that's worth, right? For whatever that's worth. That's how I like to do it. Rashee Rice is somebody I feel like, you know what? I feel like I'm going to move him down a little bit. I think he's a little too high up here. Breece Hall comes up in ADP. I'm just looking at ADP versus ranking. We'll probably see Rashee Rice go off. DJ Moore is somebody who I like above his current ranking. So I might go there and just jump it. I'm not going to have another pick for a while. So, by the way, guys, this is the point where it's okay to do something within the range of ADP and your personal rankings where you can reach for someone because, they're not giving me much choice here, but where you could reach for someone because I know I'm not going to be picking for a long ass time. I will, unless one of you guys who are in here, for example, snakes Godwin from me. Don't do it, guys. I should be able to get somebody like that on the comebacks, which I'll be happy with. There's other names I definitely like here on the comeback. I like Omarion Hampton. So I like Omarion Hampton, the rookie, by the way, not getting as much hype as Janty, but he's kind of the same thing. Ray's fading Rashee Rice. Why fade him? I mean, I get him at ADP. Is it more of a fade at ADP? I like Rashee Rice. I think he's fine this year. I don't have an issue with it. I don't think he's gonna not play, or I don't think legal troubles. I'm not assuming that will be an issue for him. So I'm curious as to what don't you like about Rice? He was really good last year. Of course, yeah, okay. At ADP, that makes more sense. Because at ADP, the issue for me with Rice is primarily that the Chiefs have just added a lot of weapons this year. They have more viable. They'll have Hollywood Brown. They'll have Xavier Worthy as more viable weapons. Last year, Xavier Worthy was coming along early. He looked good late, but no one else was even viable on that team as a pass catcher. Let's see how the board is going. So Yeah, Mike Evans is another one, guys. For me, I am way below the field on Evans. See, Evans going here, all these rounds ahead of Godwin, I just think that's incorrect. Don't do it to me, Ivan. Don't take Godwin, guys. But Evans going this far ahead. Oh, DJ Moore. I took Moore, right? Yeah, I love that. So Evans going all the way ahead of Godwin. Why? What's so special about Mike Evans? He's older. Yeah, no, you can't do that. Kadarius Toney was terrible, dude. I knew Toney was going to be terrible. I traded him away. He sucked. Don't blame. Don't blame. Don't use that for anything. Kadarius Toney is garbage. He is garbage, like actual garbage. All right, Omari and Hampton. So let's just go through what's going on here. Hampton and Harvey go back to back. Soups, you grabbed Hampton. Harvey. This is a jump of ADP on Harvey, but I like it. I think Harvey's deserving of that bump, right? I love Harvey. Taking him ahead of Hall and Mixon, ballsy, but I get it. Harvey's going to come right in and be a 3-down back. There's very little competition for touches on that team. Omari and Hampton, first-round running back, you got to put respect on that. Got to put respect on the first-round running back. Respect on that guy. Xavier Worthy. So Rice goes, Worthy not far behind, and that's okay. Then you get Smith, Joe Mixon getting older, but fine. I really like Ted McMillan, the rookie wide receiver. I don't see why. I like that. I actually think he went ahead of Harvey here, and I don't mind it. Zay Flowers, double tap for Ivan Drago. Good picks. Let's see. We've got 3 running backs here. Luxury QB and Hurts taken. There goes Hunter. So Ted McMillan, then Hunter, Chuba Hubbard. DK Metcalf on the new team could be exciting this year if they get a quarterback. Soups, make your choice. Make your choice. Don't let it auto draft for you. Jerry Jeudy, don't like it. Panic pick right there. Don't like that at all. Soups, what happened, bro? What happened? George Kittle, so you get a tight end. We've got 2 wide receivers, 2 running backs so far. I don't like Kamara there. Happy they took him. Let's see what's still going. We're at pick number 59. So this is the spot to grab our guy, Chris Godwin, who fell to us beautifully. And again, I don't know. Maybe nothing, maybe something. But I think that Godwin is set up for a smash here, assuming he's healthy, assuming that he can come back fully from that injury. I have to make that assumption because I'm not a doctor. I don't know. I don't know. Not a doctor. Good group with us here watching live on Twitter, on YouTube. Where else are we live? I don't know. I might just be those places. Formerly known as X. I appreciate you not taking Godwin from me, my man. That I actually appreciate that. Don't do me like that. Like if I base the whole broadcast around why I love Godwin ahead of ADP and then somebody else takes him, it's not a good look. I'm going to go with my first share of George double tap Pickens here, I think. There's no real running back that I love at this spot. And I'm going to just have to hope that some of these remaining viable running backs make their way to me. Just a quick look at the running back group. I mentioned before, I mean, Connor is who he is, right? Older guy, really productive when he's healthy. We got Judkins, the starting running back from Cleveland. This could go a lot of different ways. I don't know if Cleveland's any good. You mentioned Soups in the chat, mentioned Flacco. I don't know who the hell's the Cleveland quarterback this year. I mean, we don't know. It's too soon. I think Cleveland might be terrible. I don't like running backs from teams that can't score. So that for me is a concern with Judkins. Fine. Trey Henderson? Yeah. I like him. There's the threat of Ramondre, who's going to get the touches, all of that. Concerns? Sure. But overall, if he gets the job, there he goes. So Trey Henderson goes to Rams fan, 94.99. Good pick. There goes Connor. And again, talking through this group of running backs that are available, this is sort of that C tier of running backs. That these are all very questionable guys, right? This is the point I would say, at the running back group where you're not feeling that good about who you took. You're hoping at this point in the draft that the running back that you're taking, there goes Judkins, that the running back you're taking is really functioning as an occasional flex or could emerge better than what we hoped, that kind of thing. Everybody has warts. Swift, is he going to be the starter? Or are they going to bring somebody else in? There's rumors that Chicago could bring in Chubb or somebody else, could affect his potential role. Aaron Jones, oft injured, volume all over the place, getting older. That's a concern. Javonte Williams, we haven't really seen him be good in forever. Dallas could still bring someone else in. They have a rookie. Pacheco didn't look great at the end of last year. Can he bounce back? Will he get more than 12 touches a game? Don't know. Pollard in sort of a timeshare as well, but he looked pretty good at times when he got volume last season. And now the team will be a little better, but we'll see, right? Brian Robinson Jr. So these are all guys who have question marks. They're not anybody that I want to anchor my team with. I'm really looking at this group as just like, all right, hope and prayer. And then, of course, the next tier after that would be what I'd call more of the needs an injury to be relevant crew of Charbonnet, Scattaboo, Tracy, even Ramondre. Mason is in that group. Jaden Blue and Basil Tootin, Garendo. I'm going to try to get Garendo in this one towards the end just to back up McCaffrey. But that's the running back group that remain. Let's take a look at the remaining wide receivers. So, yeah, Diggs is really interesting. Olave with a rookie quarterback, concerning. Ayuk here could be a bargain. Igbuga, risky player. Don't know how much playing time he's going to get. So we definitely have some question marks going on there. We don't have a tight end yet. So for my team, with 3-3 at this point, we might take a look at QB and tight end and see what's floating around. We're going to take a look at QB and tight end and kind of see what's available for these next couple of picks. Let's take a look at the draft board. One important thing, when you're drafting guys and you're on the 11 hole, what this guy does is important, because if I'm paying attention to this team here, he's got a quarterback, a running back, 3 wide receiver, and a tight end. So I can feel fairly confident that he's going to take a running back with one of his next picks, right? He's probably not going to take a QB. He's got one. And he's probably not going to take a tight end. He's got a good one. So for me, that means if I want to take a QB or a tight end and a running back or a wide receiver kind of thing, I should take the position player first, let him do his 2 picks, and then I would take the quarterback or whatever else, because he's not going to take one, right? So with this pick, I'm going to go with somebody who I don't have a lot of exposure to, but he's just there in my rankings. This is where he's supposed to go. So I'm just going to do it and take DeAndre Swift. I do like what what Chicago's doing on offense. Chicago has completely revamped their offensive line. It's all new. I think they drafted 2 high-level draft picks. They brought in 3 free agents. So this offensive line should be much better. And they haven't replaced the running back with anybody. And we could back up Swift with Roshan Johnson or something like that. So we have the ability to back him up. And I think that's fine. Let's see here. Yeah, so we're on the clock again. Nobody that I really love here, let's call it, is still floating around. I was going to take a QB, but Baker got taken. So tight end I don't love. I'm going to go with Stephon Diggs with this other one. And, here's my thought process with Diggs, and it's really simple. The Patriots don't really have anybody else. He's sort of he's a demand the ball kind of guy. He usually comes to a new team and things go well for a little bit. So we'll see how it goes. Diggs could be washed, though. I definitely don't have a lot of Diggs exposure this year. I don't plan to. I think there's like a real possibility that he's washed. My expectation, based on my read of how these drafts tend to go, is we should be in a run on sort of luxury players part of this draft. So I would expect that we're going to start to see. Did Caleb go? Oh, no. Okay. All right. So that'll be my target here. We're probably going to be looking to target QB and tight end on the next round. My team is looking fairly deep. We've got 3 running backs, 5 wide receivers. All the running backs that I have are handcuffable. So it'd be a really interesting strategy to handcuff McCaffrey and certainly Swift even later, and maybe Cook, who you can get a really late Ray Davis kind of handcuff with, and really just bracket these 3 guys as the names that I need for the season. They're all studs when they're in the game, and they all have pretty clear backups that I can take. So I might not need, I can wait a little bit on those backups, right? At QB, I don't have a QB yet. Still good names on the board. Bo Nix, who I think is a bit of a regression candidate. Not a regression, but like he had this monster run at the end of the year last year. He was just good all around. I like Bo Nix. I have nothing bad to say about him. Kyler Murray, not one of my favorites, but had a couple of pop games last season as well. Not a difference maker. He's where he belongs, I think. Caleb, pretty good year last year, considering like everything that could have gone wrong did go wrong. He had some big games. So, not somebody I want to fully rely on, but somebody I don't mind building around. Fields could have a good year. It's really up in the air. And then, of course, Drake May. There's plenty of good quarterbacks left to take all throughout. So I'm not feeling too much pressure there. I'm ahead of the field on Javonte Williams. I'm going to wait a little bit. I think I'm too high on him this year. I'm going to actually lower his ranking a smidge. I kind of want to see where he goes naturally. The ADP says 119. We are at pick number 103, so we're getting pretty close to that spot. Actually, I might. Oh, there goes Caleb. I may actually grab Javonte here. We're getting pretty close. Like I'm way ahead of we're at pick 104. So if he's still floating around, you've got some other good players floating around. Mims, Lance Burden. Soups goes with Justin Fields. So the QBs are starting to thin out, and now we do need to get that going as well. So we'll get our first QB here. You think he gets traded? Olave, yeah, a lot of opinions here on Olave. Terrible injury. I don't know. I don't know if he's officially cleared. Realistically, I don't know if he's officially cleared to play. All right. Since I have Stephon Diggs, the most reasonable QB choice for me here is going to be Drake May. I think I can wait on that. So I'm going to grab another starting running back in Javonte. I'm probably not going to be able to get Jaden Blue, but I will grab a quarterback on the comeback, probably Drake May if he comes to me here. That's how I'm planning on doing it. And then we're going to be in the Schneid at tight end. So let's see just how this all comes together. It's going to be interesting. Because I don't have tight ends and I really need QBs. Could get a little sticky. Kind of feel like there's a lot of QBs left and fewer tight ends left. So now I'm kind of thinking, could I risk it for the biscuit and take a tight end here? Dice roll. Fuck it. Let's go. Evan Ingram. Risking it. Taking a shot, guys. I don't have a QB yet. We're going to see. There's always a QB to take, but they can get pretty shitty if there's a run on QB. So let's see what happens here. There are some good ones down here. CJ Stroud I could pair up with Nico, so that's okay. I still have a few tricks up my sleeve, but we now have our full. My full team is being filled out pretty well here. I got 4 running backs, all starters, 5 wide receivers, and a tight end. Need a quarterback, and then we're gonna back up some of these running backs and try to get more tight end talent on this crew. So this should be fun. You want me to take Kenny Pickett, double tap it, tiny hands? I feel like that's like almost insulting to take Kenny Pickett. Give me Rock Hardcastle. It's an awesome name. Your parents are awesome. Give me your reasoning behind the Pickett pick other than trolling. I could be trolling, but if it's not, I'm very curious as to why I would ever want to take Kenny Pickett on any team ever for any reason because he stinks. Is it because Pickens doubled them down together? Like, I'm not up on. Is there like an industry troll going around about Kenny Pickett? Is that a thing? All right, so again, running through what's available still, what's going on. There's Ivan Drago taking Stroud. Nice pick. Oh, okay. You think Kenny Pickett, of all the quarterbacks, will get the job for the Browns? Hey, okay. No Flacco, no Shador, no who's the other rookie? They got 2 rookies. Got Flacco over there. They should have kept what they should have done is kept Jameis Winston. But check out the Rock Hardcastle's video about why Kenny Pickett will be the QB1 on the Browns. Shout out for that. Luke Burden goes to I guess Cloud9. I'm not on board with the Pickett thing, but I haven't watched your video, so I'm not gonna. Maybe you'll convince me. I'm not gonna say no. I haven't seen the video. Could convince me, but as of right now, not been somebody that I've been on. So QB thinning out like crazy. You gotta be careful. We're getting to the handcuff zone for running backs. Lots of good handcuffs here. We're in the handcuff zone. Wide receiver group, still some names here that can produce. Christian Kirk, Hollywood, Beck on the Raiders there. All good. I like Hollywood a little bit. I like Wandale. A couple good names there. Kylie Pitter goes. I need a quarterback though, pretty bad here. So I'm just going to actually bite the bullet. Let's see if I have any correlation. Yeah, I have Stephon Diggs. So Drake May for me is a little bit of correlation here. Let's grab it. I like Drake. Dreezy. He was not very great last season, but he did come on strong as the year went on. So when you take Drake May, that's not something where I'm going to feel good about that and only that, right? When I take Drake May, I'm like, all right, I need another quarterback on this team. That's not going to get it done. Now, we're at a part of the draft here where I'm either taking startable players at these other positions or I'm starting to grab running back handcuffs. Hate that decision, having to make it. Not my favorite kind of decision to have to make. So we'll see what happens there. Keon Coleman goes. I'd love to get Jaden Blue here and pair him up with I mean, I got Garendo. That's the cuff for McCaffrey. Maybe can still take another QB here. There's not that many left. Dangerous. There's some pretty good tight ends right here. Not that many left, but I feel like with McCaffrey, I kind of almost have to take Garendo. So you know what? I'm going to take my shot, see what happens on the comebacks in this one. We're in round 12 of this draft. How do you guys feel in the chat about handcuffing your running backs in best ball? What is the theory on that? Like, what does the general consensus say about handcuffs? I know there's some people say I don't want to handcuff them at all. If I lose my guy, fuck it, I'm losing this league. Don't care. On the flip side, there are people that say no, the rest of my team is great. If I could just use these late picks to handcuff, then I'm making sure that I'm not getting zeros on an otherwise well-drafted team. So it's an interesting, strategy quandary, whether or not you should handcuff your running back in best ball. I certainly like handcuffing them in season long and those types of formats. But best ball, really, it's like reach for the stars, or in it to win it or nothing else. There's no in between in best ball. Like, these leagues are crazy. Either you need maximum scoring potential, especially in the championship weeks where you need first place, effectively 3 weeks in a row just to advance through, which is, again, why it's so impressive for anybody to ever win one of these. It's so hard to do. I mean, think about how hard it is even to win a 12-man league. Soups, you are not a handcuffer. I get that. I'm conflicted about it. Yeah, Walker Sharps, that worked out really well for both sides. Like there were weeks where Walker was winning you last year and Sharps. So, I get it. Sharps goes a little soon. All right, let's see. Rock Hardcastle. They play the Steelers week 17. Easy to stack with Judy, Judkins, and Joku Tillman. You could get an easy stack going. You can only miss it. So basically, for you, it's just like a free pick in round. You know who my guy is for that? Rock Hardcastle. And I get it. To pick it, I would just say, though, man, a lot of things have to go a certain way for Pickett to be in the game for them. My guy, and Cage Easy handcuff. He'd be handcuffing. What's up? Wagwan, my man. You know who my guy is for that? It's Danny Jones. I feel like my problem is Danny Jones sucks, kind of like Pickett. But I kind of feel like, don't we all agree that that Anthony Richardson is not going to be healthy for a full season? Like, can we all just agree that this motherfucker is going to get hurt? And so when that happens, they only have Daniel Jones backing him up. And what if Daniel Jones looks good? He's had good games. What if he gets it done? So for me, it's been Danny Jones in round 20. So that'd be my guy. Rock Hardcastle, I'd love to go head to head that shit. Come back, at the end of the season. I say Daniel Jones outproduces. So I put him for that Kenny Pickett spot. Give me that Daniel Jones outproduces Kenny Pate. Let's see if I have any correlation I could build with this QB choice. DJ Moore, Nico Collins, Godwin, Pickens, Swift. I've got nothing here. So I'm just going to take Penix because I need another QB. I can actually grab some correlation with him if Darnell Mooney is still floating around. Oh, no, he's long gone. Ivan only handcuffs in season long. Yeah. And Ivan, I would agree with that 100%. Although I actually think the one exception would be Garendo with CMC. I think you could, because Garendo almost gives you CMC-like production when he starts. Yeah. All right, we're back on the clock here. I've got one of my favorite guys, but his ADP is so far away from here that I'm going to see if I can risk it for the biscuit and just do something a little different. And we'll grab... Yeah, I like Hollywood Brown. Fuck it, right? Upside, wide receiver. Why not? We've got enough running back talent on this roster already. We've got enough running back talent on this roster at this point. So let's take a look at where we're at. On my draft, I've got 2 quarterbacks, one a little bit tied into some players. Who else would you even stack Drake May with after Derrick Henry, guys? Who are they? Who's the WR2 for the Patriots at this point? Is it Demario Douglas? Who is the next guy on that team? I know they drafted a rookie, but he's a 3rd-round rookie. I don't even know if he's going to play. So who the hell's the next guy on the Patriots? Genuinely, that's a real question. Who? I don't know. Demario Douglas. And a whole bunch of ne'er-do-wells on that team. But we got May. We've got our 2 quarterbacks in place. May does a little bit with his legs. Penix, some upside there, so I'm fine with it. McCaffrey backed up by Garendo. We got James Cook, monster year last year. But more importantly with James Cook, he's a spike game type of player. So, the lows are and the highs are huge. 28-11, 21-8, right? When he has the high points, he's helping you win the league. 30, 29-4, right? So this guy is, a classic tournament GPP guy, gets you 5, gets you 28. This is GPP special right here. Kind of like Achane, but like a weak version of Achane. Yeah, Ray, you're in New England, bro. Who is the WR2? If you don't know, then how the hell am I supposed to know? I'm in New York. I don't know. I can't figure it out. I couldn't figure it out all of last year. I thought it was Kendrick Bourne. Maybe. Tough to say. All right, continuing to go through my draft here just a little bit. Nico Collins, stud, right? And then you have 2 of what I consider my favorite guys, DJ Moore and Godwin, who I think are going to be league breakers this year. I really have a lot of hope. DJ Moore with no Keenan Allen. The rest of those guys need some time to come along. The rookie, I didn't see Odunze being very good at all last year. Chris Godwin, I already discussed it ad nauseum. This guy, his average fantasy points per game last year, number 2, compared only to Chase Brown, gets hurt. Let's see if he can come back. Not Chase Brown. The fuck is wrong with me? Jamar Chase. Sorry, I said it wrong. Chat, don't blast me in the chat. I'm talking live, guys. This is a live stream. Tight end, we're looking pretty soft here. I've only got Evan Ingram, so we're going to have to deal with that on the next round. Let's see where we're at. Oh, we're almost up. And so that's where we have to be. We got to deal with our tight end spot a little bit. I'm going to have to deal with that. Oh, I can put in Hunter Henry. And is Hunter Henry the WR2? Did we just resolve the question, guys? Ray, is it Hunter Henry? Is he the WR2 for the team? Maybe that's who the WR2 is. So maybe we'll do that. We'll pair him up with Drake May, get our second tight end off the board. Bam. We got the actual WR2. Drake May. What's up? Takedown 78. What's up? I love it. I love getting a nice crew. Fucking lunchtime, man. Like, you're at your office. Like, what are we going to do for lunch? Well, hang with the geek, draft a team, have a little bit of fun. Fantasy football's not over. It's we're still there. We're still doing it. Jalen Wright is a guy I like a lot. Wide receiver. Wait, what happened to? Somebody took my guy? Son of a bitch. All right. I'm going Dart. WR, QB3, little bit of upside. I think Dart will be starting at some point during the course of this year. Plus, I just panic picked that. I'm going to keep it real. I just panic picked Dart. Needed a quarterback. The rest of them look pretty crap. They're all gone. So that's what we did. Jalen Wright, though, would have been, and he went next, and that's a good next pick. So what the hell happened? Who took my... now just Wandale. Was it Soups? No. So, all right, this is interesting, guys. Wandale goes pick 160. All right, that's where he belongs. All right, I waited too long. You know, I like Wandale in every draft. If you learn nothing else from watching these, you should always have Wandale on your team. I mean, he went right after Hollywood. That is wild. Tillman goes. I like Tillman. Good guys. Brenton Strange. That's fine. Davis. Yeah, backups. We're in the backup zone. What's the best time to draft? I think the best time is noon, Monday, Wednesday, and Friday during the daily draft show to draft alongside me. That's the best time. Hang out with me. Ian Larson is the WR3 in the... Who the hell is that? There's a new guy. They drafted a kid, Ryan something or another, in the 3rd round. Maybe that. By the way, guys, speaking of free tickets, takedowns 78. Yeah, DraftKings is running all kinds of promos. They're trying to promote this product, so take advantage of that for sure. They're running all kinds of promos right now for buy. I'm not even sponsored by DraftKings. Like, bro, what the fuck? By the way, why are they not sponsoring this? They should be. We might switch to Underdog just because they didn't sponsor us. Why are they not sponsoring this? Come on, DraftKings, step up. There goes Roshan Johnson, who I would have liked as a sweet handcuff. I forgot about him. Totally forgot to handcuff that. That would have been actually a better use of this pick for me. So, lesson learned. Wish I had done it. Roshan. It's hard to do. I'm not making excuses. Is it easy to draft and speak simultaneously? I don't know. Yeah. What's up, DraftKings? Where are you guys? Where are you guys at, man? Sponsor. Let's go. If we don't get sponsored, we're going to start doing underdogs. Lan Larison. I don't even know who this is, Rock Hardcastle. Is he a rookie? Where? Lan? You got... I feel like you're in the... I don't even see that guy. Is this a made up name? Why is this? Why is not? I mean, I don't know. I'm not finding anybody by that name. Lan Larison. Nope. Nope. No such player. You know, that office, it's funny that you notice the sound of it. I'm forced to have a phone as part of the business, like a hard line for like, you just have to have a phone number for when you're like that for the business, for like credit card processing, whatever it is, like for people to call. And I never answered it. I don't answer that phone. It just rings. I should turn off the ringer. It's just like an office phone. It looks exactly like it sounds, by the way, with it looks like from the olden days. Actually, I would say the olden days. It looks like what my phones used to be like in my offices before I stopped having an office, right? Tyler Lockett, interesting. Tolbert, blah, blah, blah. But I feel like I need another tight end here. I'm going to go Higbee Smalls here. He was not that bad last year with the Rams. He's yeoman-like. Coming in, right? Like towards the end of the season, he got back there. Look at all these targets, 10 targets, 5, 7. Never does that much, but I kind of think good enough. You always think it was Cooper Kupp out there because you're like a white guy catching the pass, and you're like, wait a second, that's not Cooper Kupp. That's Tyler Higbee. They look the same. I think Larison is a bit, I don't know. I can't even find him in the player pool. Not sure I believe it's a real person. Not seeing it. Nope. Got to check that name rock hard. Oh, we're back on the board. Oh boy. Shook. We ain't a crook son. We're just a shook one. Calvin Austin. We have enough tight ends. So I'm going to go Tyler Shook. Just add in another QB for shits and gigs here because my QB group is pretty shit. So we are team 4 QBs. That's what's up. Ray, you out there? Team 4 QB? That's a Ray Zanny special. Is that an Ian with an I? I'm reading with an L. Nope. Even when I do that, wait a minute. Did I spell the name wrong? Was I like Ian? No matter what I type, I can't get that person to come up. Oh, how come when I type LAN, there's no such player on the board here? Why is that? I feel like this was a whole troll that just happened. Like I've been trolled about this guy. I feel like that's a troll. Will Shipley, full backup action. We are in the backup player zone here. This is where I think DraftKings took it too far. Wouldn't it be better? Like, can we petition DraftKings to end these drafts at like pick 16 or 17? I think these last few picks are just a waste of time. Not to say that you can't find a player that might give you some productivity at some point, but for the most part, it makes the draft take a little too long. And this is where, like, normally if I'm not live streaming, I start to lose my concentration and, kind of like forget to pay attention. You know what I mean? This is normally where that starts to happen for me. Like, oh yeah, what am I still drafting? And then I look up, I start reading an article or watching a video, and then I'm like, oh shit, I just got auto drafted my last few picks. Soups, you like the extra picks? I mean, I get it. It just makes the draft take a little longer than you want. Like, the underdog drafts, my understanding is you can knock one out in 20 minutes. Like when we do a show for underdog doing that format, we'll do 2 drafts in the hour, I think. We get 2 full drafts, where here, we're really not able to do more than 1 full draft. I'd be curious to see how often a league winner or even help came. Like, I don't have the data to study this, but I'd be really interested to see if like of former winners or people who've done well in this, how often a player drafted that late was actually useful. Yeah, it is 4 TE time. I mean, we got a couple of good ones left. I'm going Jatavian unless otherwise specified. What do you guys think? Little Jatavian Sanders action. I think he's the next best one. H. Fannin Jr. is a really interesting tight end, but I think he needs another year or two. He's an interesting rookie, but I think he needs some time to marinate. Was Puka a pick from the last rounds? Yeah, that's definitely a league. Well, like, did he go 19, 20, 18, 19, 20 that year? Puka, I know in Dynasty, went late round 3. He was a guy who lasted, oh, come on, bro. Who would do this to me? Why would you do that? I had him all queued up. Just took him. Arande. You know what? Let me take Wicks here. I know he at least plays a little bit. And now you said Arande? Who? Rock Hardcastle, you are like deep in the weeds with some of these guys. You're like dealing with players that aren't even in the player pool. Bobby Wow likes Cole Kmet, but I don't really get it. No, I'm off on these crappy tight ends. Let's see what else we can do. Christian Watson's not even going to play. Oh, Theo Johnson. I got to move him up the rankings. You know what? That guy's a real player for the Giants. I forgot about him. Let's see. Jaleel McLaughlin. This is all a pile of crap here at this point. Any QBs? Yeah, Danny Dimes. My miracle late Danny Dimes play. Gadsden. G-A-D. I mean, I don't know. I'm not finding it. Yeah, he's smoking deep in the weeds. Listen, I'm with you on smoking those weeds deep, bro. I'm about it. I think I might draft better late night. You know, I feel like I draft really well late night with a little smoke action, except then I just fall asleep like halfway through the draft. You know what I mean? Like vape it up a little bit. Like, all right, I got my mind working double time. Got the sativas going. You know what I'm saying? Like, get the sativa, get the head high. And, you know, you're thinking of all the angles. And then 5 seconds into the draft, you're sleeping. And it all gets messed up. Been there, done that, right, guys? No? No one else? Just me? Little gummy draft. You guys know what's up. Little late night gummy action. But the problem is you're halfway through the draft, you just fall asleep. And then it's like, oh, well, whoops. I believe they exist, but like they're definitely not in this player pool. I don't know. I can't find them. So they exist, but like we got to find, there's some deep sleeper. We got to go to like I don't know. They're just not in the player pool. We'll do a little assessment of our friends here who are in the draft with us. We got Ivan Drago, we got Soups in here. So let's just assess this draft for everybody. Gadsden. Damn. That's an intense Prize Picks ticket that could have won $25K. Like that's an intense ticket. By the way, Ivan, one of the newer staff members at DFS Army. So it's great to see you in here. And you are you've been well received, Ivan. Behind the scenes, everybody has good things to say about Ivan Drago. All right, guys. So let's take a look at the final result. And we talked through my team as I was doing it. So we're going to take a look at Ivan's team. We're going to take a look at Soups' team. Ivan starts off with Barkley and then double tap Chase Brown, luxury QB, QB1 or QB2, however you want to look at him, and Josh Allen. Good start. Running back, half a running back, quarterback combo. Come around with McMillan and Flowers. This team is probably going to be a little bit soft at wide receiver as I'm observing. But McMillan and Flowers, McMillan, the rookie, lots of upside there. Flowers, you know what you're going to get with him. Not a ton of volume, up and down games, but the up games will be 20-plus pointers. What did he average last year? 13.2. So not somebody you really want to rely on every single week. Let's see. Montgomery, again, kind of a mid-level running back. I'm not a big Montgomery guy. I haven't drafted him at all this year, guys. Just me. Hawkinson, solid tight end. Higgins. So, oof, man, this is a team that will have some concerns at wide receiver. Just after 8 rounds, only 3 wide receivers, backup guy here. You're going to need some luck or some good picks late. Oh, man, you waited too long. All right, so I will say this. Ivan, yeah, I don't know any better than the next guy, but I am here hosting the thing, so I get to talk about it. And I think this, if you could do it again, I think you waited too long. I think this pick was too soon, Montgomery. You needed more wide receivers sooner. Like right here, Montgomery, if you would have went Waddle, Pearsall, or Waddle, Pearsall, Golden, yeah, I don't answer that phone. That phone is only people who want to. Tom, are you in there? So tell me which one are you? We'll talk about your draft as well if you're in here, Thomas Andrick. Is that? If you're in here, let me know if you're in this draft, and I'll talk through yours. But for Ivan, I'm going to say probably needed to have more wide receivers than this early. I do like the Pat Bryant pick. Oh, Ram fan. Oh, okay. We'll look at your draft too then. Ram fan, what's up? Are you in here? Wait, I could have sworn. Yeah, there you are. Okay. So Ram fan was in here with us, which explains some things, but we'll talk through that one. But to finish up, Ivan Drago, Josh Allen, don't need a lot of QBs when you have Josh Allen on your team, so I don't have a problem with just getting Stroud as a backup and then this turd at the end. Milroe could be an upside guy. Monaghy, I like this pulled out of nowhere rookie guy. So that's a, maybe he's the backup for Swift. Maybe he's the guy. Probably not. And so couple of tight ends late. Again, I love Tootin. I like a lot of the picks here. Bajal Tootin could wind up being the best, most productive Jaguars running back of them all. Scattaboo, love Scattaboo as well. Not sure. We'll see what happens between him and Tracy. I think an injury will be needed in order for one of them to kind of like be really good, but we'll see. And overall good, but I think this team is going to have a tough time with the lack of wide receiver talent. I would have definitely gone stronger wide receiver here. If you skip wide receiver from the first 3, you almost need to make the next 4 picks in a row wide receiver to make up for it. That would be my take on that one. All right, moving on. Rams fan 94.99 in the chat with us. What's up? Beat all odds fantasy. Guys, if you're in the chat with me and you've got a stream, you've got a channel, I want to support it. So let me know, DM me. We'll have you on the show as a guest as well. Right? I'm always happy to bring on a guest. I love getting different opinions. I am not that person who is generally going to be overly, let's call it egotistical about my stances. You can convince me on a player, no problem. Make a cat, Rock Hard Castle. You need to be like on like a Devi Dynasty channel with these deep sleeper picks. All right, so Rams fan 94.99 in the chat with us. Thomas Andrick, what's up, my brother? DFS Army member, appreciate you here. Let's take a look at what you did. So started with CeeDee Lamb, got the drop. Love that, right? Got him beyond where you should have. This is already a really good start. Jonathan Taylor, I love Garrett Wilson. So JT Wilson, a little reach on Harvey, but I like it as well. So to me, this is a really strong start. We've got Lamb and Wilson, stud WR1s, Taylor and RJ Harvey, 3 down backs. They're going to carry their teams. DK Metcalf, so much upside if they bring on Rodgers. He could become Devontae Adams 2.0. But if they don't bring in Rodgers, I like the risk, though. Trey Henderson, again, another solid wide receiver, running back. This is maybe where I would have done different. Aaron Jones, I don't like the next few wide receivers, so I get it. But maybe this could have been a bit of a luxury pick here. So Aaron Jones, little sketchier. You got a little probably have too many running backs with 8. So let's see how that winds up. Reed, lots of upside, good kind of wide receiver for this part of the draft. Caleb and Dak. So, Caleb, lots of upside there. Dak, you're pairing up Dak with CeeDee Lamb. Caleb, I don't know if there's any correlation here with Caleb. There's not at least to this point. But there it is. There's the correlation with Loveland. That's cool. So you got Caleb Loveland, Dak with Lamb. Christian Kirk, great value there. As a matter of fact, why is he lasting that long? That's interesting. Solid tight end in Ertz, another tight end there. Braylon Allen, backup running back. So I think this team looks pretty good. Amari Cooper late, interesting choice. I think this team looks pretty good overall. I would say I would have liked maybe like a little bit almost luck here with later on. Metcalf, you're going to need a little bit of luck, but he could become a stud. If he does, then I think Lamb, Wilson, Metcalf will anchor a team all season. You won't need that much more. You'll get some upside games from Reed. I would have liked to see maybe 1 or 2 more wide receivers that are going to be fill-in guys. Like, it would have been great for this team to get Wan'Dale, maybe, let's say, even I don't know, right here before he went, maybe with the Benson spot, right? Just get one more yeoman-like scorer at wide receiver for the squad, but overall looks really, really good. I think that one is competitive. Now you're going up directly against Soups back-to-back. Soups got the miracle drop of Gibbs. Brock Bowers, a difference maker tight end. You don't need 3 tight ends when you get Brock Bowers, but hopefully you waited, Soups, to take the next ones really late, right? So hopefully you waited a little bit. Rock Hardcastle. I use StreamYard. Easy to use this. StreamYard, free. Got to pay for a better version, but it's free. Now, I use StreamYard to do these. So let's see the rest of this, Soups. I love talking through the drafts for everybody here. Devontae Adams, again, tons of upside there. We have to see. I love Stafford. He always elevates wide receivers. And Adams could be elevated. Omarion Hampton made Omarion, as I like to call him. I think he's going to be a stud. So I have no issue here at all taking him right there. Gibbs and Omarion, I think, are a solid start. I didn't like the Judy pick. I think there were other wide receivers. I mean, even if I appreciate you're not taking my Godwin guy away from me, but you could have taken Pickens there. Debo, that's right, punk. You could have taken Calvin Ridley there. So a lot of choices, but you kind of make up for your wide receiver group here with a quad tap, 1, 2, 3, 4. So you got a lot of basically double stud running back, super stud, elite tight end, and then 1, 2, 3, 4. This is how you do it. Like Ivan Drago, see what Soups did when he kind of went luxury with some of the early picks. 1, 2, 3, 4 in a row. You got to just make sure that you fill out of that group, and you just have to power take them. So I agree with this approach. Right? If you started off with just like in your first 4 picks with just 1 wide receiver, bam, 1, 2, 3, 4 in a row. Good, right? Justin Fields, plenty of upside there. Upside for rookie wide receiver, nothing wrong with that. Tajay Spears, okay, whatever. Stafford, you pair him up with Devontae Adams. That's cool as well. Taylor, the Jets guy. I mean, you're using my rankings there, so I've got Taylor ranked kind of a little higher than the field. Neal, backup running back for New Orleans. I like that. And this pay, Soups, you went a little crazy here towards the end. James is the rookie running back for the 49ers. 49ers always seem to find a rookie and turn them into something good. So that's kind of like assuming Garendo won't work out and this guy will get it done. Maybe, right? Who knows? Finish it off with a, Roman Wilson, a wide receiver I also like a little bit. It's not clear, Calvin Austin, Roman Wilson, who'll be that WR2 for Pittsburgh this year. I don't know what Will Howard is, who Will Howard is. 6th rounder. Don't waste your pick on this guy. That's a wasted pick right there. And I think that even Turd Ferguson here might be a wasted pick. So I'm not sure if I love these last 4 picks. Soups, especially for you, who you said you love the late picks. I'm not sure if I like those guys. But the early part looks really, really good. We already talked through my draft. So, yeah, that's going to do it, guys, for this daily draft. A couple things. Monday, Wednesday, Friday at noon. We are doing these all throughout the summer. So if you're enjoying the breakdown, of course, like, subscribe, notification bell. We're bringing on special guests for a lot of these different ones. We're going to be talking with Fantasy Fling, who was in here before, about the weekly winners format on Underdog. I'm going to be switching it up. We'll get some Underdog ones going as well. Howard is a gamer. Howard, who are you talking about, Soups? Which is Will? How? What is this? A running back? What? This is a quarterback. Ray, you don't like my argument for Bowers is he's such a difference maker that you could take him there. Like, it's just that he's a difference maker. And that's why you could take him there. Right? The next best tight end is going to average like 12 points per game, and this guy's going to be at like 16. So it's such a difference maker. I don't mind taking it early. That's the main thing for me with Brock Bowers. I understand if you don't like him. I do like him there. I think it's worth having a super stud. And I also think that the Raiders have leveled up their offense with Geno. Listen, Brock Bowers last year got it done with a bunch of ne'er-do-wells. You don't even know their name. You don't even know the names of those people. Who are they? I don't know. That's right. It was Gardner Minshew and Aiden O'Connell. Are you kidding me? Those guys suck. So now they have Geno Smith, who's like a mid-tier quarterback. I just think Brock Bowers is going to be better this year, but we'll see. We'll see. The risk in Pittsburgh is crazy. I think it'll be Aaron Rodgers, though. It doesn't make sense to me that Pittsburgh is a team that will go into a season without a proper quarterback. One more note from the Ivans draft. Pat Bryant has been somebody that has been talked up a lot on these shows by a lot of the guests that have come on. Bobby Wow, I think, was talking him up. I feel like we've talked him up. I wasn't aware of him, but that is a really interesting reach. I think a lot of our DFS Army member drafts are going to have that guy. So if he has a smash year, we might be seeing a lot of the helmets in the playoffs. All right, guys, that's going to do it for this one. Do me a favor, hit that like button, subscribe, whatever it is that you do. Give it a share on Twitter if you're watching this on Twitter, if you enjoy the breakdowns. And we'll be back again on Wednesday with another one of these. In the meantime, in between, you'll see videos coming out with different positional rankings and stuff like that. So make sure you subscribe to the DFS Army YouTube channel. Hit a like, notification, whatever it is that you got to do. Let you know we're coming out with fantasy football videos on the regular, guys. Good luck, everyone. I'll see you next time. Take care.